It's 2 o'clock in Philadelphia, and time for the best show ever. Now, your starting lineup. Bring in the heat. Ricky Calico. Hunter. Brody. Jen Gordo. And finally, your host, High Road Johnson. It's the best show ever. On 97.5, The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Best show ever here, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports Philadelphia. Oh, is there a lot to talk about today? Let's get right to our opening statements. Yeah, we start with the word of the day. And the word of the day today is buffet. Because there is a literal buffet of sports going on in Philadelphia right now. Something for everybody. You saw that the Eagles are now 5-0, and we'll talk about some of those people going out of their way to be negative about a win. You saw what the Phillies did. You saw what the Mets did to themselves. The Mets met it again. The Union clinched the 1 seed. Sixers preseason game tonight. They start in 7-8 days. Flyers start on Thursday. Literally, if you're a sports fan right now, there is something for everybody. This is the best time of year as far as sports. Not because of weather, like Hunter being a weirdo. Not all these other things. It's the best time of year because there's so much going on. And lucky for us, almost all of it is positive as long as we let it be positive. We will get to the Eagles in just one moment. But, man, I'm still on a high from Saturday night. I'm still just, are you kidding me with what the Phillies have been able to do? Trust me, it's Football Monday. We will get to all the Eagles stuff. You got, in that series, 13 shutout innings from your starting pitching. You got Rob Thompson, who got a 2-year contract extension today, just managing his butt off. The bullpen comes through. Bryce Harper with the home run out of nowhere has not been productive. Bang. And right there, all of a sudden, all the pressure was on them, and they had the narrative locked and loaded over there at the worldwide leader. They had it all set up. Oh, it's about Pujols. They were basically talking about it like Pujols. They couldn't wait for Pujols and all the Cardinals to advance. They couldn't wait. And you know who ruined their little narrative? The Phillies took care of that. Oh, Molina, what he's done for the game. I don't care what he did for the game, because I'll tell you what he didn't do for the game. He didn't win. He didn't win is what he didn't do. He didn't win. Okay, stop talking about old stuff all the time, worldwide leader. Why don't you talk about the here and now with the Phillies taking care of business? And now tomorrow afternoon, now do I hate that it's the afternoon game? Of course I hate it. So does every other normal human. But they're playing the Braves, and I finally got to my maybe. You guys know out there, when a team's an underdog, and the Phillies were an underdog in the first series, they're an underdog again. All I need is a maybe. As long as I get the maybe my team can come through. Maybe my team can deliver. That's good enough for me when a team's an underdog. As long as I have my maybe, and boy, did I get the maybe from this baseball team. I am so happy that September stuff that I was very, very mad about, none of it mattered. None of it mattered. This team came through in such a big way. You saw the celebration. Schwarber is clearly the leader of this team. I love the guy. I don't care what he does at the plate halfway anymore. He's dancing. They're all turning up. They're actually a fun group. Why couldn't we have seen this 162 games earlier? This is so fun right now to be a Philadelphia sports fan. Ricky Metallico, I'm watching you after the game. Terrence soaked out there, soaked with champagne and beer and stuff. You, Barkhead, you're in the studio going crazy yourself. Your voice sounds like Hunter and I's voice. You'll hear Hunter in just 1 second. How are you feeling?
Maybe we won't.
How are you feeling today after what the Phillies did?
Feel good. Yeah, it was a nice series to win. You know what was beautiful? They shut down Arenado and Goldschmidt. I think that was the most beautiful thing about it, and shut A-Rod right up, because I'm tired of listening to him anyways. I look at it this way. I thought they were going to win that series, and I thought it was going to be all the starting pitching. That's exactly what it was. They're going to need some offense coming up here against the Braves. There's no doubt about that. But everybody should be flying high. I mean, you get the Eagles win on Sunday. I mean, it's a beautiful weekend is what it turned out to be. I mean, let's face it could have gone a lot of different directions, especially with the Phillies. Who knows? The right team showed up at the right time. That's the way I look at the Phillies win.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Hunter, how are you feeling on this Monday, Victory Monday?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Yeah, I haven't lost my voice screaming in excitement in quite some time, yet here we are. And I got to look at Aaron Nola and say, I was a proud father watching him dominate that game. That's what it felt like. It felt like I got tickets to the game, and I was in the stands just appreciating him growing up in front of our eyes. There was a leadoff double, okay? And then Albert Pujols is at the dish, and he throws that changeup low on the inside part of the play. He went changeup on him. It was nasty. And then after Bryce Harper hits the home run, Aaron Nola goes out there and goes 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
That's the difference in winning baseball at this time of the year. And I loved every single second of it. It was amazing. Goosebumps running down my shoulders and everything. I listened to Garrett Stubbs' Spotify playlist the last 72 hours. Kyle Schwarber dancing. I've seen that video.
Where did that come from?
It was amazing.
Oh, he's got it in him. Come on. That dude, come on. If there's anybody on that team you want to go out and have some beers with, it's Schwarber.
It is. I just didn't know he had any moves.
How about Stubbs? This guy he's on party mode. He's literally in party vacation mode is what he knows he's not playing in these games unless something goes terribly wrong or something happens to him, which isn't going to happen. This guy was twerking, grabbing his crotch. What else bringing in a case of tequila for after the game. That to me is saying we're going to win this game anyway. So he brings an attitude with him too. Then next thing you know, he's up on top of people's shoulders in the clubhouse. This guy is out of his mind. That's where we want to be. We want to be in that party.
Absolutely. Tara ended up being, even though with some expense to her hair and such, really got after it in there. That was a lot of fun. So obviously 610-632-0975. We'll be talking about that all show long. Also the Eagles this weekend. And we warned people that this could be a trap game with Dallas looming. We warned everybody, you're just defending them. You're just being negative. No. We're actually being positive because they won the trap game. They won the trap game. They played like it was a trap game. They clearly approached it. And that's not just the players. The coaches half the time nailed it in. Don't know what the heck they were doing once they got that 14-0 lead. And it didn't matter because the good team, and this is how you know the Eagles are a good team. A good team wins even when they're not at their best. Believe it or not, in this NFL, any team can win when everything goes right. Even the Lions, whatever you think about. The Jets actually don't look so bad anymore. You take any bad, Washington. If everything goes right, of course they can win. The hard thing is when a team clearly is looking past an opponent. Clearly there's a bunch of bumps in the road. You got hurt offensive linemen. You got a hurt kicker. Your left tackle's out. All this stuff's going on, and they still found a way to win the game. This game, yesterday, believe it or not, is how I know that this Eagles team is real because we know they can play better, and we've seen them play better. We know that the Sirianni and Steichen can put together a better offensive game plan. We know, I mean, it's a shorter sample size with him, that Gannon's also capable of calling a better game. By the way, they only gave up 17 points. Let me tell you, you give up 17 points every week, you're going to win way more often than you lose. I know there are people out there that want to just be negative because it didn't look pretty. They did not paint a portrait yesterday, but you know what they did? They found a way to win a game in the trap game, which many football teams, look around the NFL, tons of teams that were favored to win lost. The Rams being an example to Dallas, the next opponent. They were 5.5-point favorites at home, came out making mistakes. They lost the game. The Eagles won the game. That's still the goal, and I am 100% guaranteed they play better on Sunday night against Dallas.
With the game on the line, this team needed a drive, and they went 7 minutes and 58 seconds, 17-play drive, 70 yards, and I thought Jalen Hurts, you want to talk about the fine details in the game. Now, Kyler Murray, maybe he was told some wrong information in his headset. The scoreboard might have said something, but he spiked the ball, which forced them to kick, which they missed. Wow, if you go back to the drive where the Eagles kicked the field goal to take the lead, Jalen Hurts stayed in bounds pounds on that second down run, which was so massive to keep the clock going. Now, I can nitpick maybe the play into the end zone with Quez, and maybe I didn't like some things on the play design, whatever the case may be. You have to think the game well, and he did there. And I thought even there was a third actually, there was a third down on that drive, too. The Goddard play where he checked at the line of scrimmage. These are details of the quarterback growing. How about going to his left in the first quarter, resetting his feet and finding Devontae Smith over the middle? It wasn't a beautiful game by any means, but every week I'm dissecting who this quarterback is, and I saw some things that it's taking steps in the right direction, which I love.
And I loved after the game that he wasn't happy with the way they played.
You're right.
I think that shows just being a mature type quarterback now. He has definitely changed. I mean, from last year until this year, he's definitely changed as a quarterback. And think about this. They go on, what was it, 758, I believe it was?
Yeah, that's what it was, yep.
758, they go 70 yards. Think about this for a second. If they don't take up all that clock, who knows what might happen there towards the end of this game? Mm-hmm. Because if you give the Cardinals another 30 seconds, it's a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
And you got to give the Eagles a lot of credit. They held on. The bottom line is when you could win games when you don't have, it's like a pitcher going into a game without their best stuff. If they could win those type of games, it's going to be beneficial down the road because you're not always going to go in with your A game. You go in with your B and C game, and you can pull out a game against a pretty good team too.
Yeah, they don't stink. And they're getting. And that quarterback is dangerous, and you saw some of the stuff that he could do versus what Cousins and Wentz and those other
Hollywood.
The way he can move it in, huge
could
plays.
Play a little bit.
They didn't tackle well, but they still won the game. And I find too many people in this city don't recognize that it's not going to always be pretty. All right, now if they come out with the same effort and first of all, if they beat Dallas, I don't care what kind of effort they come out with. But if they play the same way and they lose to Dallas, then by all means, we can be upset about a loss. What we're not going to do is when a team is out there taking care of business every single week, and we're generally on a high, I mean, what is there actually to complain about? The Union, the Sixers getting ready to play. The Flyers, we'll talk to Tortorella later in the week. But everybody else is doing really, really well right now. Do not find the people that are searching for negativity. Come to us at the Sports Buffet, and you just go ahead and scan and take a spoonful of whatever you like from the Sports Buffet. Because right now, everything is tasting good. It's seasoned. It's warm. There is no need to be worried about anything right now. We're just moving onward and upward. It's Dallas week and Braves week at the same time.
A lot of hatred there.
I mean, right. So if that's where you want to put the negativity, put it there, not on our own teams, because it doesn't get much better than it gets right this minute. 610-632-0975. We'll be back here on 97.5 The Fanatic and NBC Sports Philadelphia.